Across billions of years of evolution, Earth has witnessed the rise, the flourishing zenith, and the extinction of countless life forms that defined each geological era. Colossal creatures once crawled across the land, claimed the oceans, and ruled the sky. Humans arrived late, yet crowned themselves sovereign. We built cities, ventured across the oceans, and believed that nothing on this planet could threaten our existence. But what would happen if history were reversed? If those that once dominated Earth, the beings erased tens of millions of years ago, were to return? In laboratories, scientists are tracing the faint signatures of ancient DNA, fragments of biological matter preserved within fossils. Humanity is striving to revive prehistoric creatures using advanced techniques such as gene editing and cloning. Perhaps many of us feel a genuine thrill, a longing to witness these beings with our own eyes. Yet if these former rulers of ancient Earth were to come back, it would become a true nightmare. Even if only a fraction of these primordial creatures were resurrected, the entirety of human civilization would be pushed to the brink of collapse. For millions of years, Earth was a battlefield of gigantic beasts, species that reigned not through intellect, but through sheer, overwhelming power. 300 million years ago, long before dinosaurs emerged, a creature existed that could inspire more fear than any tyrant lizard king. The atmosphere then held up to 35% oxygen, nearly half more than today, allowing insects and invertebrates to grow to astonishing proportions. Relatives of modern dragonflies with wingspans over 2 feet drifted through dense forests, yet they were not the largest of their kind. In the damp, shadowed woodlands where fern trees rose like towering buildings and the ground lay thick with rot and fungus, there lived a creature far larger still. This nightmare was called Arthropleura, a colossal millipede stretching up to 8.5 feet long and 1.6 feet wide, its body clad in armor as hard as iron, hundreds of segments moving in a rolling cadence. It holds the record as the largest known arthropod ever to walk the Earth, weighing as much as 110 pounds. And even that may not have been its maximum size, as researchers believe the fossils discovered are not its bodies but only the shells it shed, meaning it could have grown even larger. A 2007 illustration of Arthropleura depicts a creature nearly the size of a car. It was so massive that 4 fully grown men were needed to transport its fossil remains. No vertebrate in the Carboniferous period was formidable enough to instill fear in this creature. Arthropleura possessed no fangs and no claws, yet its colossal size and heavy armor forced every predator to give way. Its head was crudely rounded with 2 long antennae extending forward, small jaws tucked beneath, and stalked eyes protruding from either side. Arthropleura fed on dry leaves, moss, and fungi. But if you were walking through an ancient forest and saw a vast shadow gliding across your path, you would understand that at such a scale, even an herbivore could become a threat. Scientists first uncovered Arthropleura fossils 170 years ago. They lived across what is now the United Kingdom, continental Europe, and North America during the Carboniferous. Imagine it appearing today in a humid tropical forest, emerging from a deep burrow in the earth. A creature nearly the length of a car, its body as rigid as metal, capable of slipping through door gaps, scaling walls, and crawling across rooftops. What would become of humans with our fragile bodies if we were forced to confront such a being? The resurrection of Arthropleura would be more than a nightmare for cities. It would transform entire ecosystems, for nothing could stop it from multiplying and spreading. In Norse mythology, there is a tale of Thor and Hymir sailing across the sea in search of the monstrous serpent Jormungandr, a creature so vast its body could encircle the whole world. The story of that serpent may be fantasy, yet in truth scientists believe that around 60 million years ago, within immense tropical wetlands, there existed a real giant reptile of terrifying scale. This was Titanoboa, the largest constrictor humanity has ever known. By comparing the size and form of its fossilized vertebrae with those of modern snakes and boas, researchers estimate its body stretched beyond 49 feet and weighed roughly 2,200 pounds, 10 times the mass of a fully grown anaconda today. It is very likely that between 55 and 60 million years ago, Titanoboa was the undisputed sovereign of Earth. Its strength was so overwhelming that it could swallow nearly any prey, for its size alone granted it absolute dominance. Scientists have yet to fully explain why this serpent reached such monumental proportions, but many speculate that during the Paleocene, the region of Colombia was a hot tropical zone with average temperatures near 90 degrees Celsius. The warmth of Earth in that era allowed cold-blooded snakes and constrictors to attain sizes far greater than their modern relatives. It was the heir to the throne left by predatory dinosaurs and a testament to an age when nature recognized no limits. With no worthy rivals, Titanoboa ruled the land for millions of years. Yet it too could not overcome the force that had claimed countless other giants. Climate change. According to archaeological experts, there came a time when global temperatures fell for many consecutive years. For cold-blooded creatures like snakes, such conditions left them no chance of survival. Moreover, the need to migrate and adapt to new habitats played a significant role in their disappearance, making way for smaller reptile lineages to rise. But if today's climate continues to warm, if swamp environments return as they did 60 million years ago, could Titanoboa rise again? A serpent stretching dozens of feet beneath dark water, capable of swallowing a human whole without a trace. From time to time along the Amazon, within the marshes of Florida, or the waterways of Southeast Asia, people still encounter signs hinting that this giant may yet survive. If such accounts were true, it would be humanity's darkest nightmare. When we think of marsupials, the image that comes to mind is often of gentle, endearing creatures like koalas or kangaroos bounding across the plains. Many imagine that Australia's marsupials are harmless beings that simply hop and graze, incapable of posing any threat to humans. But ancient Australia was not home only to adorable creatures. Across millions of years of isolation, a different kind of predator emerged. A marsupial monster named Thylacoleo carnifex, better known as the marsupial lion. The name may sound charming, but it belonged to one of the most efficient killers ever to walk the continent. It lived in Australia during the Ice Age, vanishing around 50,000 years ago, and was the largest carnivorous marsupial ever to exist on Earth. Its weight could reach 350 pounds, its body packed with dense muscle. Thylacoleo matched the size of a leopard, yet its musculature was far heavier. Its jaws were shaped like paired steel shears, capable of snapping bone with a single bite. Research shows that the largest individuals could generate a bite force of about 6,400 to 7,100 psi, enough to sever the throat or tear the flesh of prey larger than themselves. Its bite force is estimated to have been even stronger than that of the African lion when compared in proportion to body size. Thylacoleo possessed an unusual anatomy, powerful opposing hind limbs for leaping and balance, and agile, muscular forelimbs armed with long, curved, razor-sharp claws built for slashing, tearing, and holding prey. Thylacoleo was an intelligent and agile predator. It climbed trees with ease, clung to rock faces, and hunted both on the ground and from above. It could vanish into brush and wait for its moment, and within seconds any grazing animal could become its victim. With 350 pounds of focused strength, Thylacoleo was not only the dominant force among marsupials, it was the lone rebel in a world ruled by reptiles. In that age, ancient Australia was a domain of colossal predators. The killer lizard Megalania stretching beyond 20 feet, the inland crocodile quincana, and even Titanoboa lurking within the swamps. In this world, Thylacoleo rose as the sole mammal capable of confronting reptilian rulers, willing to hunt, overpower, and dominate prey larger than itself. It stood as a remarkable testament to evolution, a creation of nature so perfectly engineered that it not only survived, but reigned over a realm filled with reptilian nightmares for 50,000 years before vanishing from Earth. Traces of Thylacoleo have been found deep within southern Australian caves, alongside the bones of giant kangaroos and even ancient human remains marked by its slashing cuts. If Thylacoleo were to return to the modern world, not only would native mammals face extinction, but humans themselves would become prey. Many archaeologists believe Thylacoleo may be the source of ancient Aboriginal legends describing a pouch demon, a beast that attacked humans in the night without leaving a trace. And these are only three among hundreds of creatures that once dominated Earth. They embody the limits that nature once shattered, predatory machines without weakness. Yet what follows are beings far more terrifying, creatures that prowl not only the land, but also the waters and the skies. And if all of them were to return to Earth, humanity would find itself restored to its true place in the chain of life, not as rulers, but as prey. Before modern crocodiles emerged, another creature held dominion over the ancient swamps of North America. Its name was Deinosuchus, meaning terrible crocodile. True to its name, it was the nightmare of anything that entered the water. Deinosuchus is regarded as perhaps the greatest predator of its time, armed with an enormous skull and massive jaws. It may have surpassed even dinosaurs in sheer dominance during its span from 82 to 75 million years ago. Stretching more than 39 feet and weighing up to 16,000 pounds, Deinosuchus was an amplified replica of the modern crocodile, 3 times larger and many times stronger. Its hide was thick as steel, layered with armored scutes like ancient plate armor. Each time it opened its jaws, its bite force reached more than 18,000 newtons, 3 times that of the Nile crocodile, strong enough to crush dinosaur bone. Fossils have been found bearing deep puncture marks from the teeth of Deinosuchus. These signs reveal that it did not hunt only small creatures, but also stalked fully grown dinosaurs as they came to drink. Imagine such a scene in our world today. A monster the length of a train car lying motionless beneath muddy brown water for hours on end. With just a careless moment leaning over the water, you would become a prize meal for this ancient crocodile. If Deinosuchus were revived, human rivers would no longer be safe. Parks, fishing lakes, marshlands, and coastlines would all revert to a primordial age when humans dared only to watch the water from afar. For beneath the surface lay an ancient monster that once fed on dinosaurs. On the continent of Australia, home to some of the strangest creatures ever to exist, there lived a reptilian giant feared by both humans and beasts. Varanus priscus, better known as Megalania, the giant monitor lizard. According to archaeological studies, Megalania once roamed across Australia during the late Pleistocene, around 5,000 years ago, alongside the first Homo sapiens to arrive on this land. This creature may have stretched from 16 to 23 feet in length, weighing 1,100 to 1,300 pounds, with some extreme estimates suggesting it could reach a full ton. Its body was thick and powerful, muscles twisting under armor like iron scales, and its long tail could shatter bone with a single strike. But what made Megalania the terror of the Australian Ice Age was not merely its immense size, but its venom. Researchers believe that, like its Komodo relatives, Megalania possessed venom glands within its jaws that released a mix of toxins capable of thinning blood and paralyzing muscle, meaning that with only one bite, any prey, whether a giant kangaroo or an early human, would collapse within minutes as blood poured freely and the heart failed in panic. Combined with razor-sharp teeth reaching 2 inches in length, Megalania needed only one bite to finish its kill. Fossil evidence shows it was an apex predator with no true natural enemies. The disappearance of Megalania is believed to be the result of climate change and the actions of early humans who burned forests, hunted, and altered their habitat. If Megalania were revived in the modern world, humanity would face a fearless predator, intelligent and exceptionally adapted to arid heat. In a modern Australia where humans struggle for every inch of land against nature, such a creature would threaten the entire ecosystem and human safety on a profound scale. Throughout Earth's history, countless animals have called the blue planet home. Some of today's carnivores grow larger than humans. Bears, tigers, and the great cats stand among the largest land predators alive. One of the most ancient predators ever to walk the earth was Andrewsarchus, also the largest terrestrial carnivorous mammal known to have existed. Through the fossils this creature left behind, paleontologists have studied and uncovered remarkable insights about the giant predator that lived millions of years ago. Standing nearly 6 feet tall, stretching 13 to 16 feet long, and weighing close to 2,000 pounds, it moved on 4 legs yet carried a skull larger than any predator of its time. Andrewsarchus is estimated to have been comparable in size to a modern zebra. Its jaws were filled with large, razor-sharp teeth. The bite of Andrewsarchus was powerful enough to crush the bones of elephants, giraffes, or any prey larger than itself. And through its eyes, humans would not appear as rulers, but as potential food. The most terrifying aspect of Andrewsarchus was not its strength, but its hunting strategy. It hunted alone with patience and would pursue its prey for hours. Fossil bones bearing deep tooth marks, shattered under powerful jaws, reveal a ruthless predator that never relented. If Andrewsarchus returned to the world today, the wilds would no longer be safe for humans. Modern people, with cars, guns, and technology, might avoid danger for a time, but once this creature began hunting by ancient instinct, our contemporary survival skills would fall short. About 2 million years ago, when humanity had not yet taken shape, there lived in the forests of Asia a creature many believed to be the origin of the Bigfoot or Yeti legends. Its name was Gigantopithecus blacki, also known as the giant ape. It was the largest primate ever to exist in Earth's history. Standing beside it, a modern human would barely reach its chest. Estimates suggest Gigantopithecus stood up to 10 feet tall and weighed more than 1,100 pounds, roughly equal to a North American grizzly, but built like an ape. Its body was covered in dark fur, its arms nearly touching the ground. This species lived in Southeast Asia, mainly in what is now China, Vietnam, and India, from about 2 million to 3,000 years ago, meaning it once shared the land with early human ancestors. Though primarily herbivorous, its size and power allowed it to tear apart a saber-toothed cat or break the bones of a young elephant with a single blow. Some evidence suggests that ancient Homo erectus may have encountered Gigantopithecus in Southeast Asia. In the caves where its teeth and jawbones were found, stone tools of early humans were also discovered, hinting that the two species may have competed or even hunted one another. Around 300,000 years ago, as the climate shifted and bamboo forests shrank, Gigantopithecus gradually disappeared. With such an immense body, its demand for food was far too great. It could not adapt to arid environments with dwindling vegetation. Some theories suggest that the arrival of Homo erectus, beings who wielded fire and tools, helped push Gigantopithecus to the brink of extinction. What is unsettling is that the image of Gigantopithecus seems never to have vanished entirely from the human mind. From the Yeti of the Himalayas to Bigfoot in North America, many researchers believe these legends may be collective memories lingering from encounters with Gigantopithecus. If Gigantopithecus were truly to return, we would no longer be the sole dominant primate. Humans, with our smaller bodies, could not withstand a creature with 10 times our strength, hands the size of a human head, and a blow capable of crushing a skull. During the Oligocene, mammals began spreading across the planet. This era also marked the rise of one of the fiercest predators in history, Entelodon. In Greek, Entelodon means complete teeth. The name was given to this ancient pig for its crocodile-like snout and mouth filled with teeth. Violent by nature and brutal in its hunting habits, this prehistoric pig became the dominant force across vast territories. Entelodon was enormous, standing up to 6 feet tall and weighing nearly 2,000 pounds, with a head as large as a bull's, thick jaws, razor-sharp tusks, and long legs that let it run as fast as a horse. Unlike modern pigs, Entelodon was an opportunistic carnivore. It could hunt, steal kills, and even feed on carrion. Studies show they possessed high intelligence, the ability to coordinate, and the habit of hunting in small groups. Imagine a herd of giant pigs, each the size of a motorbike, charging across the plains at 25 miles per hour, shrieking and grinding their teeth. No prey could escape. Even ancient horses, cattle, or small rhinoceroses were torn apart within minutes. Entelodon was no fairy tale demon. It was a true nightmare of the prehistoric world. If it were revived today, humans would no longer be safe on grasslands, farms, or rural settlements. A hungry herd of Entelodon could level an entire village, devouring anything that moved, including their own kind. Next, we descend into the deep ocean, where sunlight never reaches, to meet the final engines of predation, creatures whose return would strip humanity of its rule even over the seas. Hundreds of millions of years ago, when the oceans were dominated by giant sharks, a strange being emerged. It was Helicoprion, the spiral saw shark. Unlike any modern shark, Helicoprion possessed an extraordinarily strange predatory organ. Its lower jaw transformed into a spiral saw of teeth, resembling the gear of a steel grinder, nearly 3 feet long, with hundreds of razor-sharp teeth interlocked in perfect alignment. These sharks reached up to 25 feet in length and had no upper teeth so that nothing would interfere with the alignment of the spiral blade below. When it hunted, that whirl of teeth rotated and shredded prey like paper, pulverizing bone and flesh. Researchers once believed Helicoprion fed on large fish and squid, but given the size of its jaws and jaw muscles, a single swing could cleave a small shark or any prehistoric marine creature in half. More terrifying still, this creature hunted by the oldest instinct of all, striking at movement, at the weaker body, at anything rising to the surface. If it were to appear today, humans would no longer rule the oceans, and all coastlines would become forbidden zones where Helicoprion held dominion. This ancient shark thrived in the early Permian. Fossils have been found in the Ural Mountains, Western Australia, China, and the Pacific Northwest. Throughout human history, encounters with prehistoric creatures have always captivated the imagination. Clashes between ancient people and prehistoric beasts like dinosaurs and giant monsters have long woven themselves into legend and myth. However, scientists today raise many doubts and debates about whether prehistoric creatures would truly pose a threat to humans. Based on these findings, researchers propose that prehistoric threats can be viewed through several dimensions, differences in size and strength. Some prehistoric creatures were gigantic and immensely powerful, such as dinosaurs and giant predators. Against such formidable beings, human strength and weapons would often seem insignificant. In relation to this, scientists have expressed concerns that humans might struggle to defend themselves against such prehistoric animals. Adaptability and reproductive capability. Many prehistoric creatures possessed extreme adaptability and rapid reproduction within their environments. The strong survival abilities and swift reproduction of dinosaurs allowed them to dominate Earth in their era. Scientists worry that if prehistoric creatures return to the modern world, they might quickly adapt and reproduce in large numbers, causing severe impacts on human society and ecosystems. The hunting habits of prehistoric creatures are another troubling factor. In prehistoric times, these animals were predominantly carnivorous with formidable predatory abilities. If such creatures were to reappear in the modern era, they could threaten humans and existing wildlife, disrupting food chains and destabilizing ecosystems. The extent to which prehistoric creatures pose a threat to humanity remains a topic of vigorous debate.